welcome to another episode of Shi'nanigans Podcast. And we're starting off the new season. So this is season number 9, episode number 1. So happy. So if you have been a loyal supporter, always downloading and checking in and catching the podcast on Apple, Alexa, Spotify, like wherever you get your podcast and you're still tuning in. Thank you. You guys are amazing. Appreciate you. And in the background is Yurichi, the cat. Now she wants to be on the episode. Been trying to get her episode for like forever. And shit. So yeah. But what is up? So right down in there, if you see a link, that is the link to the new comedy show that's coming up July 19th at the El Paso Playhouse. Super excited about that. I will be headlining that show. And on the bill is the best person I could ask to be on the show, a fellow female El Paso comedian. She's like one of the first to do it. So welcome back, Lee Garay. Okay, I called her today. I was like, Lee, I wanted to bring her on, so maybe next week she'll be on the podcast and we'll talk about the show. We'll talk about her comedy, and I'll introduce Lee to the masses. And if you know, Lee has her own podcast, The Lonely Podcast, and she's also on Spotify and YouTube. So go check that out. I already did an episode with her, so I'm on one of her episode podcasts. So obviously we got to switch it up and bring her on over here to the shenanigans side of the house. Okay. Speaking of shenanigans, if you was here when Sleep Theory took the stage, Sleep Theory, Never Tell, the Oxymorons in Strayview from Dallas. That was a fire show. That was awesome. I had pics and everything, and I was gonna post it. But I'll be honest with you, your girl knocked out. It was hot. It was hot in that venues. Because you know this is shenanigans. We talk about the behind the scenes. We talk about the shit. We talk shit. Okay, look. Venues, if you're going to have people packed in a space in the summer and it's hot, turn the AC on. You knew people were coming. The tickets were reasonably priced tickets, okay? So at $35 a pop, and then y'all charge for parking. And the parking sold out. That was enough money to pay the electric bill, to turn on the AC. You're wrong. Okay? Got people passing out from dehydrating inside. Okay? There's people that pass out from heat exhaustion outside in the open air. In city unknown. But no, you as a venue have people passing out inside because it's hot. Turn on the AC. Okay? You made enough money. Pay the electric bill. Because, yeah. You know, big bitches, little bitches, bitches that didn't wash because they came straight from work, bitches that didn't freshen up. Ooh. And somebody had the audacity to pass gas. But the problem with is, it wasn't a regular fart smell. You ever smell somebody that just took a shit? It's like they just took a shit and didn't wipe properly and their body was sweating? Yeah. So in the future, if you see a compensation video, if you've ever went to a venue and damn near passed out from heat exhaustion and smelling ass for 3 hours, you could be entitled to compensation. That part. So venues, pay your electric bill, turn on the MAC. We turn it on here at the house. Like, my AC's on. Why can't yours be? That's ridiculous. Okay? Redunculous. Got people passing out for no reason. And then speaking of hot, it's too hot to wear makeup, but your girl had to put it on. Because I've been feeling myself. All right? Some tinted moisturizer, some color. I'll be calling it a day. Right? So you got to put yourself together at the end of the day. Got to put yourself together. But yes, I am excited. I'm super excited because comedy is kicking up a notch. Hey, and I've been trying to tell you, I'm still bookable. I'm still going out there. So let me know where you want me to go. And I'm there. I'm there. I'll figure out how to get there. I'll figure out the logistics. I can't drive the comedy van. The comedy van is kaput. Like, it's so hot, it's blowing up tires, okay? So I'm just gonna like start renting vehicles to go out on these journeys, which is, fine. It's fine. But it's gonna be fine. I'm not flying. We still have a problem with the airports. I'm not flying. So I'm good with driving. That's just me though. I love a road trip. So yeah. So got to see Sleep Theory for the first time. That was cool. Next week, Wednesday, there's 2 Wednesdays, this next week and the following week. Your girl's gonna be KJing some karaoke. I love doing karaoke. That's a new venture for me. It's not much to it really. It's keeping the crowd hype. It's like being a host at a comedy show. You're keeping the crowd hype. You're letting them know it's like, hey, it's not one of those America's Got Talent. It's not American Voice, none of that, or whatever shows that like, you got to be the best singer in your category. No, you just come out and you sing songs and like, you just do the damn thing. And so I'll be doing that. I love it. I've been doing karaoke for like a year now, maybe 2. And I like it. I like seeing people light up when they're just like, do you have this song? Yeah, sing it. I'm not that good of a singer. None of us are. That's why we don't have albums out. That's why we not on Spotify like that. Okay? I have a good speaking voice, yes. Like, thank you and welcome. And you have tuned into the latest episode. I got that going for me. But as far as singing, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I could sing. But you knew that though. You see, the talent is there. So that don't apply to me. But just come out, sing, and have a good time. But anyway, I need you, like, hey, the link. You see the link? See the link right there? The link. Tap on that link and buy tickets to the comedy show. Share the link with your friends. Come out and come see myself and Lee Garay. We're going to go, and I don't know what she's going to talk about. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what the hell I'm going to be talking about either. It is what it is. That's why it's named that. It is what it is. And it's going to be a live taping, a live studio audience. We're at the theater. What better way to set it off? I'm celebrating my 9th year of comedy. Yay me! Yay me! And I love it. And I can tell you, true story, because like I'm all over social media. So I'm still on Twitter, or it's called X, formerly known as Twitter, and I'm over there and I'm inspiring people. They're hitting me up like, hey, I've seen you, I've followed you for a long time. I see your comedy flyers. And these people that are not like in the vicinity, but we follow each other because we're on Twitch, because I'm on Twitch, I'm on Streamlabs, I'm on Discord, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm around. Right? Because that's what you have to do when you put your brand out there. You have to be out there. I don't consider myself a content creator because I think that's a bit heavy. Because being a content creator, I think they said somewhere you have to post along the lines of like 8-10 times a day. Like you're posting morning, noon, and night, and you're coming up with different things. Right? So I'm not a content creator. I'm just a stand-up comedian. I'm trying to get myself out there and tell jokes and entertain the masses. And when people hit me up and they're like, hey, you're inspiring me to do what you do. Like, what do I do? Where do I start? Where do I go? What do I say? And nobody can tell you what to say, because in the comedy world, I always say everything is funny, but it's your job to make other people believe it's funny and why it's funny. Because you still have people that are just like, no, I'm going to cancel you. You really can't cancel somebody in the entertainment business. We're not even going to talk about who on trial, what trial they doing, what they testified, what they in trouble for. Nope, we're not going there. We are not going there. But we joke about it. Everybody's got their jokes about it, and I do say comedy is hard because some people are naturally funny. You naturally just spit out comedic lines. Like, I can't do one-liners. That's just me. I can't do one-liners and I can't do puns. But I'm a good storyteller. I'm a good observationist. You know, I'm relatable. And the stuff that I talk about when I'm up there on stage, like, it's stuff that everybody goes through every day, every month, every year. Simple stuff. You know, I think people complicate it because they want to be quirky or they want to be the first to talk about a situation and without having all of the facts. And that might get you a little bit of like a hot water. But I don't think you can get canceled as a comedian unless you do something heinous, you know, like physically do something heinous, you know. And it's getting crazy because there's people like, I know y'all heard about Donnell Rawlings. Like, he's in the middle of doing his set and then a fight broke out. It had nothing to do with him. He upset doing his job, telling these jokes, making people laugh. And dude was like on site, walked up to dude, started swinging. They get up there and throwing fisticuffs. That was the first comedy show that I seen it. And these are all I'm seeing on Facebook. Another comedian was up there doing his thing. And somebody didn't like what he was saying. And the audience member got up and they went to fisticuffs. They went to blow for blow for blow. And I'm just like, it's a comedy show. We're there to laugh. We're there to take scenarios and talk about that scenario. Why is it funny to us? And we try to make you see why it's funny so you can laugh about it, right? And I guess it doesn't always go over well. So with this person that said that they wanted to start comedy, I told them to play it safe, stay away from race, religion, and politics. Those three will hang your ass up. Stay away from it. You got the riots in LA, and I told somebody like LA's always rioting. It's like almost every year, every other year, they stay rioting in LA. Just like the East Coast, parts of the East Coast, always in hurricane season, they always getting flooded. Okay, San Antonio right now underwater. You know, rest in peace to the people that passed away and stuff. But it's like, you know, there's some regions where it's constant, where it's expected, where something is always going to happen. And you got to be a strong writer to find the funny in that and convey that and put it out to the masses. What makes it funny, you know? And but if you stay away from race, because everybody's up in arms right now, the Latinos are like, where's the black solidarity? Why y'all not standing up for us? Why y'all not coming over here and helping us fight this fight? And then they're telling them, because you guys never stood up for us. You guys call us the N-word in Spanish. Think we don't know. You guys are anti-black, from what I've read, from what I've heard, from what I've seen. So it's hard to go to bat for it's hard to go to bat for somebody that you're not being supported. Support gotta go both ways. I support you, you support me. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. We work together as a team. But now you're on the chopping block. And I had to explain it to somebody because somebody was like, why are they rioting? And the way I explained it was this fact of they're rioting because they want to stay in America, but they're getting deported. And they're like, well, why are they getting deported? I said, well, no, it's if you came in illegally and you were here for like 20 plus years, like you got comfortable, and you kind of forgot to file the paperwork. You kind of forgot to file for citizenship. You kind of forgot to do some things. And now they're catching up to you. Now you're being deported. And and it's breaking up families because they're like, well, they're breaking up families, which is odd because it's like you got a husband and wife. And let's say the husband is a citizen, but the wife's not a citizen. So they're catching up, and then the wife gets deported, and the husband's like crying, like, ew. Like, you have ample time. But at the same time, I heard that it really costs a lot of money to get citizenship. I don't know how much it costs. I don't know the specifics, but I heard that it costs a lot of money to become a citizen. And I'm like, well, you had 20 years to save up, you know. And I'm not judging because I'm not speaking on it. I'm not speaking on it. Like, if y'all know me, my kids are Mexican. Their dad's legal. We're good, you know. We're good. My kids did ask me, like, back years ago when Trump ran for president the first time, and he was talking about building a wall. And my kids is like, do I got to go on the other side of the wall? And I was like, well, to save my bank account, maybe. But they good. They good. They legal. You know. So yeah, like it's a lot going on. So stay away from race. Stay away from politics. Religion is a tough one. Religion is hard, you know, because the Islams are coming over here and they want to establish Sharia law. And under Sharia law, women can't do anything. Anything. Own a car, drive, work, learn. They can't go to school. What, they pull them out of school in the 4th grade if they make it to the 4th grade? There's a lot going on, you know. But what I don't get is like the people that say like we should let them come over here. Let them. It doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter who it is. You want the people to come over here. And my thing is like, you know, all these abandoned buildings that y'all have, nobody's fixing them up. All the homeless people that you have, nobody's housing them. But yet we still have room to let people come over and do what? Move over and, you know. So that's why we stay away from politics. We stay away from race. We stay away from religion. It's a touchy subject. It's hard to talk about it because at the end of the day, what is the end statement? You know, and they're fighting over, well, California used to be Mexico. A lot of America used to be Mexico, and it's not anymore because of paperwork. Whether it was a treaty, a manifest destiny, you know, the documentation wasn't filed in enough time. And it's funny how land was stolen from so many different personnel by one group, you know? And then the group was like, send the blacks back to Africa, send the Mexicans back to Mexico, send this person back over here. How? When, you know, you went and you got all these people to build America, and now that America is built, you want to send them away. How? Where are you going to send them? And then so many people have assimilated and mixed cultures. So it's like, well, how do you say, no, we're going to send you to your native land when you're mixed? You can't send anybody anywhere. They're mixed, you know? So you can't send them back to Africa. Africa don't want them. You can't send them back to Mexico. They don't speak Spanish. You can't send them, you know, all this race and politics of. And then if you think about it, the people that are trying to send people back, wasn't y'all Puritans? Wasn't y'all Quakers? Didn't y'all leave because y'all couldn't practice your religion over there? You couldn't do certain things over there. So you came over here as pilgrims. So, yeah. People up and leave. They migrate. They go where they want to go. They live the life they want to live. But it's hard. The struggle is hard, you know? And I get it. And I don't do protesting. I'm not standing outside in 100-degree weather with a stick and a note. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. Legally, I can't, you know? So the protesting, and then I had to explain that to somebody because they were like, well, the protesting and riots, it's like the protesting is the peaceful part. You stand outside, you know, and you fight for your government. Well, figuratively. You're out there, you're trying to like get your voice heard, right? But then the protest turns into a riot because somebody wants to provoke the police or the raid or the riot people in the riot gear. And it turns into a riot. It turns into violence and craziness. But all people wanted to do was just let their voice be heard. And it's not so. So that's why I stay away from it. I can't protest. I wouldn't even know what to do. You know, I'm an email type person. Is there somebody I could just send an email to? You know, they have petitions for what they want to speak out against. Whether it's tariffs, raising the rent, raising mortgages, property tax. A lot of people are mad about the property tax. You know, but we as a nation have been protesting since the dawn of time. Now, depending on how much of a history buff you are, it's turned into what? We've only had one civil war, luckily. We're not trying to have any more. But we're not trying to have any World War IIIs. Somebody said World War III's already started. And I'm just like, well, looks like a lot of people going to be signing up and joining the military, you know. And then they were just like, well, how can the president send the Marines over to California? Is that a misuse of military? No. If you know the military, there's a military creed, and in that creed it says that we will defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. So with that being said, if it's a domestic disturbance and you send the military out to keep everything restful, keep everything peaceful, it is not a misuse of military. And then think about it. You have Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, right? And then out of all those branches, they have the reserves. They have AGR. You have National Guard. So you have under the umbrella of military, there's a lot. So you send out your reserves, but then you have the National Guard. So under National Guard, the national portion would be the region that you send your military out to protect. You know, and then people will sit there and argue, well, that's not fair. You're turning people against people. You're turning people against their family members. And I'm like, if your family members is out there rioting and you got to scoop them up, hey, tell them they have to go home. Because they don't need to be getting rubber bullets, rubber pellets to the face. There's some stuff going on. People are getting arrested. Now you have a criminal record. It's really hard to move around with a criminal record, you know. But do what your pocket can afford. So that's the hard part of protesting, standing up for what you believe in, fighting for what's fair, fighting for what's right. And then I had a person come up to me. They're like, well, they're not fighting if they're not signed up for the military. Different strokes for different folks. Not everybody is military grade. The military is not for everybody. Right? And some will argue, well, the military, you're fighting a white man's army, you're fighting, you know, I'm not going to be having somebody in my face telling me what to do 24/7. Yeah, we have laws that tell us what to do 24/7. Don't park here. Don't sit there. Pay your taxes or else, you know, Fed time. So you're doing it, babes. You're doing it. You're following orders. You're following orders. I don't know how to break it to you, you know. But yeah, like, and someone said, like, in the near future, they might draft. And if they change the draft, it's going to be that you could draft men and women. Possibly. Equal rights, equal fights. Right? So I don't think the only reason that when the draft was instated, they weren't drafting women back then because they wanted women to like still be able to take care of the household. You know, they were able to, somebody had to stay and raise the kids. So now there might be some men that be like, nah, I can stay home. She can go to war. She can put boots on ground, go fight the good fight, and I'll stay home. Because roles are reversed now, right? Traditionally, women stayed home, were the homemakers. Now men are like, I stay home, play 2K, build this league, have a good time. And I see it happening. And I understand it. I understand it wholeheartedly. Because can you imagine that they don't need us to make babies anymore anyway? That they'll harvest them? Word on the street is they cloning folks anyway. So, and you ain't got to pay child support on a clone. Okay. So yeah, so let me know in the comments, like, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on civil unrest? Is it a protest? Is it a riot? There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. But there's many ways to build one, though. You know? And it's just craziness all around. But yeah. But I'm just talking. It's 105 degrees out here. I got the pool up and running. I learned how to float yesterday. I'm so excited about that. So, you know, if you see me just floating in the pool, just leave me there. It's nice, cool, relaxing. I'm enjoying the weather. Okay? So, about to like schedule a pool party if I can get Lee on board. I called her today. She didn't answer the phone. But I get it. It's Sunday. She's, enjoying her day off. And so, by the time you watch this, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Fathers are men. I'm gonna leave it at that. Happy Father's Day. Love your babies. Hug your babies. You know, support your babies. They're growing up through tough times. They're trying to figure out what sex they want to be, what gender they want to be, what kind of scholar they want to be. If they want to be scholars, they want to go through trade school. Do they even want to go to school? A lot of confusion is going on. So hug your babies, love your babies, and support them, you know? And this weekend here in El Paso, they had the Anime Fest at the El Paso Convention Center. So I got to see my favorite cosplayers. Woo-hoo-hoo. So you see this later on YouTube. On YouTube, so this podcast, like I said, it's on every major platform that you hear your podcast, but it's also on YouTube. And on the YouTube one, I put the videos up. So I'll put the pictures of the cosplayers up. I'll also, right now I'm sharing the link to the comedy show, but I can put up the flyer. So you can see way more on YouTube. So go on YouTube and subscribe. I love if you subscribe on the podcast channel because we need as many supporters here. And you're on Facebook, come and hang out. Throw some stars at me. I don't know what the stars do, but hit a star. Yeah, send some stars. I don't know what they do. I really don't. But your support is always appreciated. And that's what we're doing. We're picking up speed. New season, new episodes. We're going to be more consistent. I promise you. And like they say on TikTok, post your content. You feel like you're going to be a content creator. You feel you want to be a vlogger. You feel you want to show somebody a special skill you have, a talent you have. And you want them to pay you for that. Rightfully so. Go ahead. Put it up there. Put it up there. This podcast is, like I said, it's called Shi'nanigans because it's like the shit that I go through behind the scenes. And I try not to talk too much about the shit that I go through behind the scenes because I got eyes on me. And there's places I can't perform. But there's other places I perform. And that's cool. That's cool. So instead of fighting for one stage, the goal is to be on other stages. So I love that. And I love being a comedian, you know. So if I've inspired you, the inspiration is there. I like it. I like it. It's like being a mentor because it's like if people see what you're going through and you're successful at it, and they're like, they want to be on board. I get it. They want to do it too. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's scary at first. Anything you start out in the beginning, when you started out, it's scary because, again, you're learning how to do it. You're trying to figure out how to do it, what to do, what to say, what not to say, the ins and outs. And then we all do it. We all get in our head and we block ourselves. We hold us back. Get out of your head. Get out of your head. Sit down and brainstorm. Sit down and do the outline. Do the hard parts. Okay? Like I said, this month, I should have had a party. The month ain't over. I should have had a party because, like I said, I'm celebrating 9 years of being a stand-up comedian. That's hard to do. Okay? I mean, and I get it. Yeah, there's people that's got 12, 25, 30, 40, 50. I'm not talking about you. Talking about me, okay? Me hitting 9 years and inspiring people that's asking me, yo, I want to get on board. Yo, I want to do what you do. I want to talk. I want to put content up there. I want to get some followers. I want to make money off the gram, the social media, the whatever. And I'm like, all right, but you got to start somewhere. You just got to start, right? Start. Like my downfall for me, which is going to sound silly when you hear this, but my downfall is like, I know I'm supposed to do a podcast. I know I have a schedule. I'm supposed to do a weekly podcast episode, right? You know what? I won't do a podcast. I won't do a podcast if I don't have my makeup on. If I don't feel a certain way. Y'all already see me. Y'all know I got the dark circles galore. Okay? The raccoon eyes. Y'all know I got it. Y'all don't care. You don't care. And I know you don't care. But I care. Right? Because I do it live. So by the time you hear the podcast, remember I just said, I'm on podcasts where you can listen and download, right? Then there's a podcast where I film live on Facebook. All right. So I'm live. So obviously I got to show my face, and then I take it and then I put it on YouTube, and then, I do the editing for YouTube. I don't like doing editing. I like to do the live, raw, in your face, because it's like, especially when I have guests, I'm like, I ain't said that. Yeah, you did. You did. You said that. Same thing with me. If I do blunders, I'm getting, and then also like me talking to you more helps me when I get on stage, right? Because there's no host bar on stage. On stage, when you're doing a stand-up comedy show, you can't make mistakes and erase it and start over. Like, you drop the microphone, pick that shit up, keep going, all right? You forgot your joke, you stand there staring at the crowd staring at you, you stand at the crowd, crowd staring at you. What you gonna do? You gotta do something. Talk. Get it out. Get it off your chest. Say what you got to say. Yeah. So you guys are helping me. This podcast was created because at the time when COVID happened, there was no stages. We couldn't perform anywhere, obviously. So travel was restricted. Nobody getting on stages. People wasn't meeting up together. And so I was like, well, let me do a podcast. And the whole purpose of the podcast was to get out my jokes, my material. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, if I do all my jokes on here, by the time the world opens up and you're not going to pay to go on stage, you're going to be like, I can hear her right here. Okay? But y'all not subscribing. Y'all not paying me for this content. So I give y'all bits and pieces of samples. It's called samples. I get y'all taste of my comedic side. Which is fine too. Right? And then with a lot of comedians, and then a lot of comedians ended up with podcast episodes. The biggest one, Joe Rogan, Kill Tony. They got their podcasts up, and they got, comics coming up there, and they showcase the comics. They build their careers. I can't build your career. I can just tell you to start it. I can support it. I'll share your flyers if I see it. I'll invite you on this podcast too. We can, shoot shit, chat it up, or whatever. Right? But when it comes to like individuality, building your brand and putting your name out there, gotta start. And shout out to my team, because we have some orders in. We have new merch. We re-upped our merch. We have stickers now. So hit me up if you want a merch pack, T-shirts are going for $20. Custom sweat jackets are going for $30. Because hoodies are always a season. And then I should have, next week I'm picking up a custom order. And now that I'm being consistent, I'm going to have it on the video so you can see it on YouTube, here on Facebook, and then on YouTube channel, and you can see what the custom is like. So this order is a deep purple, and it's really pretty. And it's got the Shi'nanigans logo. And instead of calling it Shi'nanigans, I probably should just call it Sharita. But the name problem, there's like so many Sharitas now in comedy, and I didn't know that. I found out the hard way. So that's why I was like, you know what? Shi'nanigans. The shit we go through behind the scenes. Especially as, well, it's not even, it doesn't even matter whether you're at the beginning level, like the first day to your 10th day, to your 10th year, to your 20th. The shit you go through, because there's ageism, sexism, Okay, there's cliques, right? There's the bros, because every comedy show you've seen, and I know you see the flyers, I know you see the commercials for it, the advertisements for it. How many males are on that show compared to how many females are on that show? And I bet you can't even count on your hand how many funny females there are. How many female comedians there are, whether you think they're funny or not. How many comedians there are, right? And then you start breaking it down, well, who's funny, who's not funny, okay? And then compared to the male side, how many male comedians are there? How many of them are funny, hilarious, whatever, And you see, like, the Netflix is still putting out specials, And then you got the top ones like Dion Cole, Ali Sadiq. Yeah. So many. But on the female side, how many Netflix specials have you seen for the females that you actually like that were funny? Right? It's hard. Comedy is hard. People just think you just go up there and knock. Ain't no damn knock jokes. Ain't no dad bod jokes. Divorced dad jokes. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. And at the end of the day, I don't see other comedians as competition. I just see them as co-workers. And there's enough stages. I haven't met a comedian yet that said they've been on every single stage, whether national or abroad. Okay? There's too many stages to be on. There's too many stages for us to share. So it's like, how can we be competitors? And I get it. There's different comedic styles. There's different levels of comedy, from G-rated all the way down to like the XXX rated comedy. And a lot of people want clean comedy. The people that do the clean comedy go on TV. America's Got Talent, right? You see a lot of comedians over there. And some comedians will tell you, well, I have jokes, but I don't know how to make them clean. Don't say the F word. That's all. That's really how you make them clean. Don't say the F word. Right? That's it. PG-13. Like when I'm doing when I get booked for shows, I always ask them, what level of comedy do you want? If they want a G-rated, PG-13, I talk about my kids. When they don't care, I talk about dating. I talk about aging. Talk about things that are relatable. Because nowhere in the story of man are people going to stop dating, stop aging, stop having kids. Okay? But what's funny about it? And that's when you put the twist on it. That's when you put the spin on it. Right? And now, like, a lot of comedians are on TikTok. They go live on TikTok, which I'll probably do after I do this episode. I'll probably go on there, talk for a little bit, and show my comedic style. Because when I talk, that's where the jokes come in. Right? Behind the scenes, after a comedy show or a hangout spot, a karaoke night, behind the scenes be lit. If you can get a group of comics together after a show and they talk about the show, they talk about, I should have said this, but I didn't. I can't believe you said. If you get behind the scenes with us, the unscripted stuff, hilarity ensues. Hilarity ensues. But nowadays, I don't know what it is. It seems like people don't want to buy tickets. But then I can't say that because you're still going out to see Dion Cole, Ali Sadiq, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams is on tour right now. And I know because I had bought tickets to go see his show. He's coming to New Mexico. His show is June 21st. And I was going to go to that show, but I get my tickets to my kid because I have a show that night in New Mexico, So we're all co-workers, It's just who wants to go see whom. And you got to make yourself marketable. You got to put your brand out there. Your jokes got to be fire. You got to show the people that, I'm here. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to entertain you, And like one comic, I asked him, I was like, how do you get people to come to shows? How do you get people to know who you are? He said, you gotta be a brand. You got to be a brand. And what's working right now is people will go on TikTok and they do that. TikTok is affording them ways to make skits, right? They're putting skits together. They're acting stuff out. The only thing that is when it translates over to stage, it doesn't work so well sometimes. But get in where you fit in. Get in where you fit in, all right? Because I hear a lot of, my friends think I'm funny. Are you funny enough that your friends are going to pay you to be funny? Are they going to buy tickets to come see you? There's the rub. That's hard. It's hard. And then, again, just because you're funny with your friends, don't mean you funny in a room full of 300 people, 3,000 people, 500 people, 5,000 people. Shit's hard. Ask Joe Coy. Ask Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider. You know, people have been doing it for years, centuries. I meant decades. People that have been doing it for decades, doing stand-up comedy for decades. And I'll tell you, it gets harder after a while. You know, the people that were coming out to see him might not be coming out as much. And then what it is too, though, so a lot of comics are running into, because I had a conversation with a comedian, and he made it sound like it was an enlightenment, because he was like, oh, I only got to know one set. I'm on stage for 20, 30 minutes. I do that one set. I don't get booked for another year, 2 years. But I go back and I do that same set. People are not going to remember. And I'm just like, what? In hindsight, that sounded good. But I've been at shows where, no, the crowd come up to you afterwards. The audience members come up to you afterwards and they want to talk to you. And they're like, yo, what's up with your boy? I said, what do you mean? They say, he did the same set he did last year. You remember? Some people got good memories, yo. And you over there talking about, oh, I'm going to do the same set year after year after year after year, and nobody going to notice? You know, meanwhile, I'm over here coming up with different sets, different things to talk about, different topics and everything like that, putting spins on it. I can't talk about the same thing. It's easy, yeah. But I feel like you don't feel like you cheating your audience out? Paying good money to come see you, and you going to spew the same shit you did last year? Come on. You're not even going to try? Even Dave Chappelle come up with a new set. Ali Sadi, he talking about his time in prison, but he was in it for years. So he got years of material about being in prison that he could talk about, but not the same set. Same set. Angela Johnson Reyes got famous off of her nail bit in a nail salon. Okay? She don't do that no more. So, yeah. Get your mind right. So you are aspiring to be a stand-up comedian or a comedian of sorts. You want to do TikTok videos. You want to be Instagram hot. You want to do something. Start. Just start. Figure it out. Write it out. Act it out. But overall, have fun. Enjoy what you do. That's what you have to do. Enjoy what you do. Because if you don't, what's the point? You know? And you can't worry. Oh, comparison is the death of... Yes, comparison is the death. Because... And I'm guilty of it. There's times where I'm like, dang, that person's doing this, and that. And I'm like, I do some of that. Yeah, but you're not doing all of it. But I do some of that. Why am I not? Don't compare yourself to another person. We're all co-workers in life. Okay? Put your spin on it. Everybody make gumbo, but they don't make it the same. Well, I don't make gumbo, but I'll just use it as an example. You know, you put your sausage in there, your shrimp, your okra. I don't eat okra. So I'm not going to have okra in my gumbo. Right? You might be allergic to shellfish. But you like gumbo, so you don't put shrimp in your gumbo, right? You put in your gumbo what's gonna make it taste good to you, and you share it with the world. I don't know why I came up with gumbo. Don't look at me like that. It was an example, okay? It was. So yes, my beautiful people, celebrating 9 years of comedy. Okay, this podcast will be celebrating 5 years come November. Eternally grateful, super happy, and always thankful for all of your support, all of your shares, all of your comments when you do comment. The downloads to the podcast has been crazy. It's my fault. It could be crazier, but it's my fault. I'm not consistent. I keep telling you every time I come here, I'm going to get consistent. I'm going to be consistent. I need to stop bullshitting. I hear you now. I hear you telling me through the waves, the sound waves. Bitch, you need to be more consistent. You need to put out some more episodes. I'll be waiting. Okay? And then I had to change the YouTube because what happened was when I would post the podcast to the YouTube, it would be just the audio version. And YouTube is not audio. Audio is, YouTube is more visual. Okay? So, yeah, like you see it, I'm doing a podcast episode from my bedroom because the wind picked up. It was too crazy to go outside. It's Sunday. I ain't had nowhere to be. It's Father's Day. Ain't nobody to hang out with because they all celebrating their daddies. And if you heard my podcast episodes before, you already know my situation. So I ain't got nobody to say happy Father's Day to. I'm good. But yeah, it is what it is. July 19th. And that's a lot of people's motto if you think about it. It is what it is. Que sera, 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 sera. Thanks. So you out there in LA doing them riots, be safe. If you in San Antonio with the flooding, Godspeed. If you somewhere where there's hurricanes, thunder, lightning, and Zeus is mad, good luck. Good luck. Heat wave, drought, stay hydrated, drink that water. Even if it's from a water hose, drink the water. Drink the Kool-Aid. Drink something. Alright? This has been Shi'nanigans. I'll see you later. Love you.